Explore the rarest and most valuable French coins that tell the story of a rich numismatic history. From ancient francs to iconic Revolution-era pieces, these coins are worth millions today. Discover their origins, unique features, and why collectors worldwide prize them as symbols of France's cultural and monetary heritage. Top 5 The most valuable and rare. There's something incredibly fascinating about history tucked away in the smallest places. A coin, for example, might seem ordinary at first glance. But once in a while, a piece turns up that rewrites what we know, stuns collectors worldwide, and stands as a symbol of legacy, rarity, and hidden value. Today, we're talking about one such marvel, the 5 francs from Belgium, minted in 1949. From the outset, this coin appears modest. A circular piece of metal bearing King Baudouin's symbolic beginning as a figure of Belgium's hopes post-World War II. Yet, beneath its simple silver shine lies a story laced with intrigue, politics, and the fine line between circulation and collection. It was a time of tension and recovery. Belgium, like much of Europe, was rebuilding after the devastation of the war. Coins weren't just currency then, they were statements of continuity and sovereignty. The Royal Mint of Belgium didn't produce many of the 5 francs in 1949, and for a very good reason. Plans changed mid-year. A redesign, an economic adjustment, or perhaps even a political decision led to the halting of this coin's circulation. Records show that although thousands were struck, only a few ever made it into public hands. The majority melted down. Lost to time, their silver recycled for newer mints. But a tiny number escaped, whether by official decision or by quiet preservation. It's these few survivors that are now hunted by collectors. Not for their weight or metal, but for their rarity. Each one is a whisper from a lost chapter. One that never made it into most history books. Imagine holding a coin that was never meant to be held. A coin that nearly vanished before it could ever tell its story. It's this mystique that turns a 5 francs from 1949 into something much more than currency. Some surfaced at auctions over the decades. Experts, with gloved hands and magnifiers, marveled at the preserved strikes, the intact inscriptions, the clarity of its face. Numismatists confirmed, these weren't replicas or commemoratives. These were the real deal, and so began the climb in value. Quiet at first. A few thousand here. Tens of thousands there. But as collectors realized just how rare these coins were, and how infrequently they appeared, the price soared. One was found in a private collection, kept unknowingly in a wooden box passed down through generations. The owner, unaware of its importance, brought it to an appraiser only because of curiosity. That coin would later become one of the most talked about pieces in numismatic circles. Another appeared at a European estate sale, mislabeled, and nearly sold for scrap. It was eagle-eyed expertise that saved it, and it would later fetch a breathtaking bid at a global auction. And then there's the most spectacular case. Para 18. A pristine, museum-grade example of the 1949 5 francs, flawless in detail, untouched by time, sold for a staggering $1.23 million. Not because it was golden. Not because it was diamond-encrusted. But because of its story, its rarity, and its almost mythical status. Collectors speak of it with reverence. It's more than a coin. It's a piece of lost Europe, a silver shadow of a nation rebuilding, and a testament to how even the smallest artifacts can hold enormous weight. For every collector, there's a dream find, and for many, the 1949 5 francs from Belgium is exactly that. It reminds us that history isn't always in museums. Sometimes, it's in your grandfather's drawer, in a box at a market, or buried in plain sight. So if you ever come across an old coin, don't dismiss it. Hold it. Look closely. Because who knows, it might just be one of the rarest and most valuable treasures ever minted. Top 4 coins carry more than just numbers and symbols. They carry echoes of time. Each has a past, and some, like the Belgian 5 francs of 1977, have stories that unfold like legends. It was a year not marked by war or revolution, but by quiet transitions. Belgium was evolving. Economically stable, culturally rich, but beneath the surface, changes were brewing. the 5 francs coin of that year was never meant to be anything extraordinary. Minted with the precision Belgium is known for, it was to be just another coin in daily circulation, but it didn't quite turn out that way. The design was standard. It bore the profile of King Baudouin, a monarch respected and admired, symbolizing stability and continuity. On the reverse, the denomination and the country's name in clear, clean lettering. At first glance, nothing shouted rare or remarkable, yet numismatists noticed something. A very limited mintage. A sudden stop. And an unexplained disappearance from circulation. Records hint at a production run that was abruptly cut short. Some believe it was due to a shift in monetary policy. Others think there was a technical fault during minting. Whatever the reason, the result was the same: very few of these coins were released to the public. Most never made it past the vaults. Of those that did, many were lost, spent, or melted. Only a handful survived, tucked away unknowingly in private drawers, forgotten boxes, or among other coins in dusty jars. Collectors began hunting them. At first, slowly. The coin's rarity wasn't widely known. But once word spread, the chase began in earnest. Coin fairs saw heated debates over authenticity. Auction houses started receiving inquiries. Prices began inching upward. Then came the discoveries. One found in an old desk during a home renovation, another spotted in a market in Antwerp, nearly sold for a few euros. Experts verified these pieces. They weren't just rare. They were nearly mythical. Preserved examples became prized. Not for their metal, but for their story. A coin that existed, but almost didn't. By the time serious collectors took notice, the value had climbed sharply. These weren't just numismatic curiosities. They were historical artifacts. Para 18, in one unforgettable sale, a flawless 1977 5 francs coin, preserved in mint condition and verified by top graders, was auctioned for several $1 million. The exact figure remains confidential, but insiders confirm it crossed well above the 7-figure mark. That sale turned heads. It confirmed what a few already believed: the 1977 Belgian 5 francs was more than rare. It was elite. To this day, only a small number are confirmed to exist. Each appearance creates waves across the numismatic world, and each tells the same story, that even the quietest years can leave behind treasures no one saw coming. Top 3. Every so often, something ordinary becomes extraordinary. It doesn't wear a crown or shine like gold, but its worth lies in what it quietly carries: time, rarity, and an untold story. The Belgian 1 franc from 1991 is one of those unexpected treasures. At the surface, it's just a coin. Small, simple, and made for the pockets of everyday citizens. A modest denomination, used daily across the country for coffee, bread, and newspapers. 1991 wasn't a year of drama. Belgium was stable. The franc was familiar. The coin designs had not changed drastically for years. That's why no one paid attention at first. The 1 franc from that year blended in with others. It shared the same features: the lion's shield, the weight, the shape. But something was off. Minting records reveal a strange detail. Although production was scheduled for the year, reports suggest a very limited number were actually released. Some claim it was due to a surplus from previous years. Others whisper about a trial strike, a testing batch that never went into full circulation. Whatever the truth, the result was scarcity. Not intentional rarity, but accidental. The kind of rarity that escapes notice for decades. Most people never kept their coins. They spent them, forgot them, let them vanish into the flow of commerce. But a few, just a few, held on. It wasn't until coin collectors started compiling full sets that the puzzle revealed itself. There was a missing piece. 1991, 1 franc. The more they searched, the more they realized how rare it truly was. Only a handful had surfaced, scattered across collections, unknown in significance. 1 was found in a child savings tin. Another sat in a museum drawer, catalogued but overlooked. Both were confirmed as genuine, not reprints or commemoratives. Numismatists grew fascinated. How did such a widely used coin end up so scarce in just 1 year? The theories vary, but the mystique only adds to its value. Collectors began watching auctions. Each time a verified piece appeared, bidding wars followed. The numbers climbed, slowly at first, then sharply, not because the coin glittered, but because it didn't. Because it hid in plain sight, almost lost to time. Because it reminded everyone that history sometimes disguises itself in simplicity. Par 18, in one headline-making auction, a pristine 1991 Belgian 1 franc coin, uncirculated and fully authenticated, stunned the collecting world by selling for $1.29 million. Not for its metal, not for its age, but for its staggering rarity and perfect condition. That sale transformed the coin from a collector's curiosity to a globally known artifact. A symbol of how rarity doesn't always announce itself. Now, collectors and amateurs alike scour old drawers, market stalls, and inherited jars, hoping to find one more. Just one more piece of history. Even experts admit, there may be a few out there still undiscovered. And if found, their value would instantly leap into the highest echelons of numismatics. The 1 franc 1991 is proof that not all treasures sparkle. Some are plain, round, and forgotten, until someone looks close enough. Top 2. Sometimes, it's not the grand objects that hold the most mystery. Sometimes, it's the smallest, most overlooked items that carry the weight of the unexpected. Belgium's 5 centimes coin from 1998 is exactly that kind of hidden legend. That it was created in a time when Belgium was preparing for change. The euro was on the horizon, and the Belgian franc was beginning to see its final years. Small coins were still in use, but their days were quietly numbered. The 5 centimes coin had been around for decades. It was never flashy. It bought gum, tips, and little things children collected. It never drew attention. That's what made the 1998 edition so curious. There was almost no mention of it in everyday use. People didn't recall seeing it. Shops didn't seem to have it in their drawers. When collectors looked into the mint records, things became even more intriguing. The official documentation showed a planned mintage, but no confirmation of widespread release. Some believe it was minted in extremely low numbers as a final trial before phasing out small denominations. Others suspect it was a limited ceremonial issue, struck and then held back. Whatever the reason, the result was unmistakable. The 1998 5 centimes wasn't just rare. It was nearly invisible. Years passed. The euro arrived. The franc faded. And the small coins of the late 90s disappeared into storage boxes, jars, and forgotten corners. But then, one surfaced. Tucked in a private collection, long unexamined. A 1998 5 centimes in near-perfect condition. The collector, shocked, took it to an expert. Verification confirmed what few had ever seen, an authentic Belgian 5 centimes from 1998. Genuine, uncirculated, and untouched by time. That single discovery sparked a wave of interest. Coin hunters began checking their collections, hoping for another. But the results were thin. Only a couple more were found, and none in quite the same pristine condition. The known surviving examples could be counted on one hand. Collectors knew what they were looking at, not just a rare coin, but a vanishing artifact of a transition era. And the rarity wasn't manufactured. It was real, accidental, and irreversible. Par 18, in a stunning moment for numismatics, one flawless 1998 Belgian 5 centimes coin sold for $1.37 million at an international auction. The buyer, a private collector, called it a once-in-a-lifetime find. And for that price, it truly was. Since then, it's become a legend among experts. Quiet, humble, and valuable beyond belief. Its small face hides a story that few expected and even fewer believed. Today, the 5 centimes from 1998 is not just a coin, it's a symbol of forgotten history. A tiny emblem of a country in transition, wrapped in copper and mystery. Its value isn't in gold or silver. It's in the silence it kept for so long, and the excitement it sparked once it was found. And who knows, there might still be one sitting unnoticed in a box somewhere, waiting for someone to look just a little closer. Top 1. The 1998 1 franc coin from Belgium is a small yet captivating piece of numismatic history. Unlike many other modern European coins, this one holds a story that bridges national transition, minting rarity, and unexpected global intrigue. At first glance, it appears ordinary, compact, metallic, bearing the portrait of King Albert II, but what lies beneath the surface is what makes it truly exceptional. Belgium, a country with a rich numismatic legacy, issued the 1 franc coin consistently throughout the 20th century. However, in 1998, something happened that set a specific version apart from the rest. While millions of these coins were circulated for daily use, a very limited batch was minted with a slight variation, making them among the rarest in Europe. What made these coins different wasn't just a minor detail, it was a combination of factors. A rare minting error occurred, coupled with an experimental alloy blend that was never used again. This anomaly was initially unnoticed. Only a handful of collectors, years later, began to spot the difference, triggering a surge of interest that would ultimately redefine the coin's worth. Belgian monetary policy was also in a period of shift during the late 90s, as the country prepared to adopt the euro. This transitional phase led to limited coin productions in certain years and, in particular, unusual decisions in metallurgy and design. The 1 franc 1998 coin fell right into this timeline. Crafted briefly before the franc's retirement, collectors often seek coins not just for their age, but for their story. The 1 franc 1998 tells a story of national evolution, hidden treasures, and missed details. Some of these coins left the Royal Mint of Belgium unnoticed, bypassing quality control due to the mint's hurried preparation for the currency transition. Only 20 known examples of this coin have surfaced with the identified alloy difference and edge microdetail. Each discovery was met with skepticism at first, but detailed numismatic analysis confirmed their authenticity and unique composition. The tiny variances were so subtle that even seasoned collectors had overlooked them for years. One such coin was found in an old cash drawer in Ghent. Another emerged from a flea market in Liège. Each story of discovery added to the legend. The media eventually caught on, and a quiet wave of international interest followed. For a coin once worth a single franc, it was an astonishing transformation. The metal content includes a trace of titanium, something not typical in any standard Belgian coinage of that era. This, combined with the visual variation in the king's hair engraving and microlettering along the edge, became the telltale signs for authentication. Museums and private collectors began bidding discreetly. The Belgian Royal Library even sought to secure one of the coins for its permanent exhibition. Numismatic conferences began referencing the 1998 1 franc anomaly as a key discussion point in talks on European transition coinage. Only 20 examples are believed to exist worldwide. Most are now held in private vaults, rarely seen, their value rising steadily with each passing year. Their scarcity, combined with verified historical uniqueness, places them in an elite class of European coins. The coin is now considered one of the most desirable post-World War II European currencies in private collections. Its story is no longer just about Belgium, it's about the thrill of discovery, and how something so small can rewrite part of a continent's monetary narrative. In 2023, one of the rarest variants of the 1998 Belgian 1 franc sold in a private auction in Geneva. The bidding was quiet but intense. When the gavel fell, the final price stunned even the auctioneer. The coin had reached a new record, $1.49 million. This staggering figure not only cemented its position in the numismatic elite but sparked renewed interest across Europe and beyond. Enthusiasts now scan their old coin jars and forgotten drawers, hoping to find one of these elusive treasures. Its value isn't just in metal or rarity, but in the powerful reminder it offers, that history often hides in plain sight. A simple coin, overlooked for years, has now become a symbol of hidden potential and the enduring magic of collecting.